What it is, YouTube? It's your boy DC coming back with another bullseye of a tutorial here today on the channel. So today I wanted to talk about great plugins for people who are doing R&B or who are mixing R&B or who want to get that melodic singing type of sound similar to Brent Fayez, Bryson Tiller, SZA, Summer Walker, and many more great R&B artists. I like where R&B is at right now because there was kind of like a point a couple years ago where R&B was sounding exactly like rap, but now it's good because we're getting back to that R&B soul. You feel me? It's just like that R&B that still sounds new, but it still got that soul to it type shit like that. All right. So if y'all like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Okay. And also, you want to support the channel, check the links. All right. So let's get to this. First of all, I'm going to be showing off a bunch of different plugins that, I feel like singers would need, to get that pro mainstream sound. But let me just show you like a song that I recently mixed type shit that inspired me to do this video. No, Poco. Yeah, so something along the lines of that. That vocal, it kind of reminded me of Sierra and 50 Cent. The one song where he's like, I can't leave him alone. Like, if you know that song, you know that song, right? So I wanted to make it sound modern, but still have that old throwback vintage feeling type shit. So the very first thing when you are an R&B singer, you feel me? And you trying to like, you just started out and you just looking for plugins. And you don't know what the fuck you need to get your pro sound. I have many videos on my channel where I literally break it down move for move for move. But we just talking about the plugins, the tools that are necessary, right? And what are we looking for to achieve that sound? Because it's more than just the sound. You feel me? There's a message behind the singing, behind the music, and the mix is something that really enhances that. It enhances the flavor of the beef brisket. It enhances the flavor of the grilled ribs. You feel me? That sometimes the rub is just as important as the ribs itself type shit like that. All right. Sometimes where the apple is grown is the dirt is just as important how the actual apple tastes. You feel me? Because the dirt in the soil is what produces that good ass tasting fruit. You feel me? So first thing that we need, I feel like as an R&B singer, is you need a transparent EQ, right? And usually very in the beginning you want to use a transparent EQ because maybe you haven't decided how you want to dress up this vocal yet. You haven't decided what outfit you want to put on, what type of socks you want to put on. So I like to use transparent EQ very, very early on, right? Just to really go in there and maybe like, shape and mold the vocal. Maybe that we hear a little bit too much of low end, everybody's voice is different. Some people have a baritone, some people have a higher voice. Maybe you hear a little harshness and you want to duck it down, right? So after that, you don't have to have foul filter. You could also use Waves REQ. That works perfectly fine too. Then after that, you're gonna need a color EQ, right? And color EQs are great, right? I'm thinking about something like a Pultec is really good for R&B vocals because you can, really start to bring in some body, really bring in some of that Whitney Houston frequency is what I like to call it. Using something like a Pultec, or even bringing some of that angelic Mariah Carey type of top end using a Pultec and boosting somewhere around 8 to 10K. These are the type of EQs that you can push, and not only do they add something EQ wise, but the tone of just running through it is going to give more density to R&B vocals. All right, another great plugin I want to say too is something like a SSLE. Now this is really dope because you have a bunch of different things that will help an R&B vocal, such as the VCA compressor section. When I do a R&B vocal, I always pull the threshold the whole way and try to use the lightest ratio. I don't think that I like to use heavy ratios on R&B vocals because it has a hard knee. I don't want the vocal to be shaped hard like a piece of wood. When you got a pencil and you in school and you sharpening that pencil, you get to choose how sharp it is, and that's what the compressor does. So I always put my threshold max up, and I try to get the ratio to be as low as possible, somewhere from like in the ones to no higher than 2.5. And a lower ratio works on the whole overall vocal, helping it really get rounded off. And that's what you want with R&B vocals, to feel full. And the compression can, help bring that fullness too. All right. So these are dope. Sometimes we might crack open a little bit of top air band. You feel me? And using EQ on a analog modeled color, EQ is better than a fab filter where the shape is a little bit more smoother than the transparent EQ can give. That's why it's good to have additive. Next thing you want for R&B vocals, if you're an artist starting out, is you want to have a basic multi-band compressor. And a multi-band compressor is good because for the most part, when you're an R&B singer, your vocals going up, I know it's so good. Oh, I can't sing for shit, but you know what I mean. Your vocal is going up, it's going down, and different words produce different amounts of energy. So you want to use something like a C4, or maybe a Fat Filter Pro MB or a C6. Just having a multi-band compressor is good. I recommend C4 pop vocal preset and pull your range all the way up to somewhere about one or two. This is something that's really going to help you control the R&B vocal, which is going to be up and down, singing high and low, and really get it to be stable. You feel me? Really get it to be stable but not stagnant. All right, stable but not stuck. All right. Important plugins when it comes to R&B is de-essers, right? You want the most transparent type of de-essing because on rap music you can get away with it because the nigga is rapping fast and he kind of going quick and they really can't catch it on. You feel me? You really can't catch it on. But R&B, if the de-esser is clamping down too much, it's gonna be very obvious because usually R&B people are singing longer. Their notes are longer. The tempo is slower. So a plugin you need to have this plugin. Literally, is Split S because this is the most transparent form of deharshing your vocal. It's actually going into the vocal on certain parts and pulling it down. So, did I use it here? Let me just show you what I mean, so you get an idea of what it's doing. So it knows the so and the should and the could and all that shit. And let me see something. 5 6 mix, but all right, cool. Yeah. So most importantly is that you can see like, you feel me, like this plugin understands. Hold on. I don't even think that yeah, this plugin doesn't use any EQ or any compression at all, bruh, like at all. Right? So you just see it knows where the is in the S is at, and it does it manually with volume. So yeah, you need a transparent de-esser when you're mixing R&B vocals type shit. You feel me? You need a transparent de-esser. And I like to use the Weiss de-esser because it's mastering grade. All right, next thing you definitely need for R&B vocals is a saturator because you want it to bring in that tone. Like Bryson Tiller, he been singing over like a lot of analog shit lately, sampling. Even back in the days when "Do This One Favor for Me," like Bryson Tiller, that nigga been sampling. And when you have a sample, you want the texture to be cohesive. All right, so using the tape plugin is great. Using the Spectre is great, and Saturn, those are great saturators. What does the saturator do? It brings density, it brings fullness, and it also soothes the voice naturally. It gets the voice to feel round. It gets the vocal to feel very curvy and shapely type shit like that. Imagine it to be like that. So that's why having a plugin like this is great. I like Spectre too because it lets you pick where you put the saturation at. So let's say you only want body in the low end, you want thickness in the low end, like just the bottom part. You can do it like that. Or if you want that super top end, but the top end that has heaviness to it. Sometimes if you just boost top end like this, it's gonna feel brighter, but it's gonna feel thin at the same time. Well, that's where you get an advantage with a plugin like this. You're getting the brightness, but you're also making it feel heavy, so it still feels balanced. Okay, a plugin that you will need is Valhalla Delay. I love Valhalla Delay because we're looking at a situation where, it covers all different types of delays, all wacky delay effects, and, making those one-shot R&B effects, which are just as important as the lead vocal, but you also get some reverbs. And I like these things like clarity reverb, airy vocal reverb. Like these reverb presets right here are just so crazy. I use them a lot when I'm doing R&B, and the reverb as well I would recommend for R&B is Seventh Heaven. important because it has the chambers. And chamber reverbs are important because they're short, right? You don't want these stupid long reverbs on R&B because you want the artist to be singing doing these long notes, and you don't want the reverb to step all over the the vocal, all right? So yeah, that shorter reverbs are what you want. Chamber reverbs, plate reverbs like Valhalla plate are great. And the last thing you want is a doubler. I love using the doubler because even when you have a doubled vocal, you might want to still apply some widening to it so that it doesn't trample like a trampoline on the lead vocal. And that's where a doubler comes into great. So a doubler is pretty basic. You put it on an aux. Sometimes you might even throw it on a vocal stack like that and just like, use the mix knob directly type shit like that. Does this have a mix knob? Nah, it doesn't. Nah, you'd probably just put it on the aux. All right. So that's pretty much the end of the video. I just want to say thanks a lot for being a great part of my YouTube family. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below if you enjoyed this video. You learned something from it, kind of getting like an R&B vocal plugin checklist. This was kind of it. And I just want to say thanks a lot for being a great part of my YouTube family. Want to support the channel? Check the links. Appreciate y'all now. Peace.